Good morning, Year 6, and a massive welcome to the final lesson of English in this remote learning package that we've put together. Today we are really going to change the world, I feel, with this letter that we write, and change the way that Miss Ryan runs the school, and you've got a say in that. You've got a part in that as well. So this letter is going to be a very powerful letter that we write today, especially with all the hard work that we've been putting in over these past few days. So we're going to be writing our persuasive letter using formal language. I've had a quick map up of this letter already, just to try and think of the best way of writing it, and it's actually very fun to write because you can become very how do I put it, quite aggressive in the way that you try and change this person's mind. So we're trying to convince Miss Ryan to start a new movement in school, like a new thing, a new stride forward into the way that we're running this school. So this is our menu of how we're going to write. I'm going to get straight into it today, straight into writing, because I'm feeling very pumped and very excited about it. So we definitely need capital letters for proper nouns, that's supposed to say. Let me change that. Such as names of people or places or something. Persuasive sentence starters, which we've put inside our plans. We're not necessarily going to use them all, but they're there for us to use in case if we want them. All three sentence structures as well. So we want the simple, the compound, the complex. Facts is a big thing. We're not just making this stuff up, it is real life and we're trying to change it, so we've got those facts as well to back up our thinking. And then we've got the specials board. So this is if you're feeling quite saucy in making this letter. Rhetorical questions are always a good thing for a persuasive letter. Obviously we don't want to just throw rhetorical questions in every paragraph. One or two at most is what we need. And then I put in something there called the more sentence. So please ask your waiter for details. And the more sentence, you might remember these sentences, but this is what we're looking at here. So the more something happens, the more something else happens. Okay, so the more upset she was, the more her tears flowed. Or the more happy she became, the more talkative she seemed to be. So we're trying to think of the more something happens, like the more pens we buy, the more pollution, the more we're adding to pollution. Something along those lines. It's a very simple sentence to construct together, just using a comma between each part of your sentence. The more something happens, comma, the more something else happens, full stop. But very effective as well. The impact it has is very effective. So the way we're going to do this then, you can either write this inside your purple book, paragraph by paragraph, or you can go onto Google Docs and you can type it up. You can then download it and send it to me. That's absolutely fine. Lots of people asking that question. Yes, go for it. Make it look as professional as you want. I've written mine up and I'll be typing it so you guys can see it as well. And what I've done is I've just had each part of the book, each part of my plan in my book, and I've then just written only about 3 or 4 sentences per section, and then my letter that I've got there looks like lots and lots of work, when in fact it's just a little bit of bite-sized pieces of work. I've already done the hard work. I've already got all the information here. I'm just need to write it in some sort of paragraph. So I'm going to start off. Now you guys need to start off. We know this person's name. It's going to be Dear Miss Ryan. I've got full stops, and I'm going to spell Miss correctly. Definitely not like that. Like this, Dear Miss Ryan. And then I'm going to miss a line. So I'm going to go on to the next line and miss another line and start again here. Now I'm going to make my writing a bit smaller so it fits onto this page. Hopefully that's a bit better. I'm going to move that down here as well. So this is going to be the start of my letter, my introduction that I've got here. And I've got these 3 facts that I want to try and put in there as well. Now I'm going to start off with, as you may be aware, I don't want to insult Miss Ryan's intelligence. She is quite an intelligent person, so I'm sure she's aware of the pollution. As you may be aware, pollution is constantly having a detrimental, a bit of a wow word there, a detrimental effect on our environment. Detrimental meaning huge, a nasty effect. If it's detrimental, it's a big thing, but it's not a good thing. Detrimental effect on our environment. I'm then going to use one of my sentence starters. It is certain. It is certain that plastic pollution is a huge factor of this. Now, what I mean by huge factor, I don't mean factors in multiplication. A factor, a huge factor, is a huge thing. Okay, it's a very what's the word I'm looking for? What sort of language? Formal, very formal way of saying it's a huge thing. Okay, it's a huge factor of this, of the pollution. But I'm going to use one of my facts. 8 million tons of plastic. I'm literally just copying that up. Ends up in the ocean each year, comma, creating a garbage patch 3 times. Now I'm not going to write. I'm not going to just put number 3. I'm going to write the number 3 because it's a bit more formal. 3 times the size of France. Now, because I've said about a year there, I'm then going to use the one at the bottom here about the pens, because this is every year as well, isn't it? So I'm going to sort of link onto that. And in fact, I'm going to put and 1.6. Now, because it's a big number, 1.6 billion, I then write the 1.6 in figures. 1.6 billion pens are a huge part of this pollution. And then I'm going to go straight away with the middle facts. Unfortunately, 1 million, again, because it's a big number, I'm going to use figures. 1 million sea creatures die as a direct result of this. So what I mean by that is it's direct result. It's so obvious that it's the pollution that is killing the sea creatures. And then I'm going to use I feel that, because that's my other sentence starter. I feel that we could do more as a school towards reducing, so making the amount of plastic smaller, so the amount of waste smaller, this sizable, because it's a huge amount of waste. Okay, that's it. Introduction. How many sentences is that? 1 sentence, 2 sentence, 3 sentence, 4 sentences. Okay, that's 5 sentences long, but quite small one there at the end. Quite 2 sort of small sentences there at the end. I'm also then going to highlight detrimental, because I think that's a good wow word for you to use there. There was another word that I used as well, which I think was quite good. Sizable is quite a good one to use. Pretty sure there was another one in there. Oh, direct result. That's quite a good one. That's obviously 2 words, but it's a good phrase to use. You might want to put inside your introduction. So pause the video, have a go at writing your introduction. Then I'm going to move on to the next paragraph. So the next paragraph then, I've got firstly, and I'm sure that, and this is about setting up a scheme, isn't it? So I'm going to start off then. Firstly, comma, I need to actually spell firstly wrong. Firstly, comma, we could set up a scheme across school to recycle the pens. Now, remember, I've not said anything about pens other than the waste. I've not said anything about us sort of concentrating on pens as the plastic waste, have I? So this is sort of the first idea, the first introduction to that idea, sorry. Recycle the pens we already have and use, because we're not going to throw them in the bin, the ones in the cupboard, we still need to use them. This would reduce the waste. I put that as my first thing up here, remember, going into landfill. I'm going to use the bottom one now, dispose our waste responsibly. I mean, we are disposing of our waste responsibly, because they're going to be recycled, aren't they? I'm going to use furthermore now. Other products could then be made. Furthermore means, in addition to this, in addition to us recycling these, other products, I need to put a comma there, other products can then be made from our recycled waste, such as, and I'm going to put a comma there, because now I'm going to give a list of things that could be made. Park benches was something that we saw in that video, wasn't it? Cups and pencil cases will be made from recycled waste. And then I'm going to put I am sure that. I'm sure that you'll agree. I'm sure that you'll agree the TerraCycle, because that's the scheme, that's what it's called. The TerraCycle scheme is very easy. I'm going to put and beneficial. Something good comes of it, beneficial to use. Something benefits you, something good comes from it. So I'm going to highlight the word beneficial. I'm going to highlight the word furthermore. Makes me sound very intelligent, doesn't it, if I use the word furthermore? And then have I got any other good wow words in there? I think that's enough. I think that's enough. How many sentences is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. 4 sentences for your next paragraph. Right. Pause this then. There you go. You've got four sentences to write for your next paragraph, and I'm going to move on to my third paragraph then. So in my third paragraph, I'm then going to sort of say we could do this with our weight that we've got, but in the future, then we need to move on to something better than just buying these pens that we're constantly recycling. We need to buy something better than the pens we've got. So in my opinion, I'm looking at the sentence starter I wrote yesterday. In my opinion, we could do more to help reduce the this waste. I'm going to put this waste by buying eco-friendly pens, such as, now I'm just going to go into one pen here. You could do both pens, but I'm just thinking of time, such as Bic Ecolutions ballpoint pens. And then I'm going to say why. These are made from, was it 74% recycled plastic. I'm going to say, and relatively cheap as well, aren't they? These are made from 74% recycled plastic and are relatively cheap. So they're not like the cheapest, but they're not the most expensive. Now tell her how expensive they are, because you're doing the hard work for her. £12.50 per box. And then I'm going to do a simple sentence here. That's only £25 a year group. Done the hard work for you there, Miss Ryan. I've told you exactly how much it's going to be. And then I'm going to actually say, I'm going to use a rhetorical question here. Quite a small price to pay for such a huge impact. Wouldn't you agree? Would it, or would you not agree? Because I don't want to do contractions, do I? Would you not agree? Question mark. How many sentences is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Smashed it again. 4 sentences there. Any good? Relatively cheap. That's quite good, isn't it? I'm going to highlight that one. That's a good word to use as well. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that paragraph I've got there. So now pause the paragraph. Actually, third paragraph. Pause the paragraph. Don't pause your paragraph. Pause the video. Write your third paragraph. 4 sentences again. You've done the hard work there. I didn't use the word therefore there, but I'm not too fussed actually. I think that I've been forcing to use therefore forcing it in there. I don't think it fits at the moment. I might use that in the next paragraph. Or even my conclusion, actually. So now I'm going to move on to my 4th paragraph, and you can press play once you've done your 3rd. So here's my 4th paragraph. This is about the cost versus impact. I'm going to put the more sentence in here as well, because I'm thinking the more recycled products we buy, the more they're going to be made, the more they're going to be manufactured in the factories, and because of that, then they'll become cheaper. So I'm going to start off with that the unfortunately recycled products cost more. Unfortunately, recycled products cost. In fact, I'm going to put. We all know, recycled products cost more. It's not. It's not new information, that isn't. However, if I'm going to use that word pioneers, but I'm going to say pioneering school. If we become the pioneering school and set a trend, more schools would follow our lead, or our like good, I suppose, good, like I want to say something to do with an example, would follow our just to follow our example, would that be? Or follow our good example, or follow our strong example, or follow, I'm going to come back to that, I'm going to put example in there, I'm going to have to come back to that. Follow our, that's going to eat me up now, I need to put a good word in there. I'll come back to that one then. The more recycled, this is the more sentence I'm going to go for, the more recycled products we buy, the more the more recycled products we buy, the more they will, or the more are manufactured, aren't they? That's what I mean. The more they are manufactured. There you go, manufactured. That means to make them in a factory, and so become cheaper. So we need to set that trend off then, don't we, really, and start getting these products to become cheaper. If we stop buying, I'm going to go with that thing there. If we don't make them, we won't buy them. If we stop buying, I'm going to put the cheap, nasty pens there, actually. Cheap, nasty pens. Bit of an opinion in there, saying they're nasty pens, but I agree with my opinion. Companies will stop buying them, making them. There you go. Unfortunately, we all know recycled products cost more. However, if we become a pioneering school and set a trend, more schools will follow our example. The more recycled products we buy, the more they are manufactured and so become cheaper. If we stop buying the cheap, nasty pens, companies will stop making them. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. And I'm going to move on to my conclusion then. So remember, the conclusion, in fact, what's the good wild words in here? Manufactured is a good wild word, actually. I like that one. I'm going to highlight that one. Unfortunately is a good wild word to use. Pioneering, what a fantastic word to use there. So I'm going to put those two on there. And then finally our conclusion then before we finish. So conclusion, I'm telling Miss Ryan what I've told her. Okay, that's all a conclusion does. The introduction introduce them to your ideas, you then tell them your ideas, and your conclusion tells them the ideas you've just told them, weirdly. So I'm going to start with to conclude. To conclude, conclusion, I want to sort of say, like, the world is at a tough place. We need to sort of, we need to do something about it. So the world is at a crossroads. So I'm sort of saying we can make two choices here. We either carry on with what we're doing and add to the damage and continually add to the damage, or we make a stand, change what we're doing there, haven't I? That should be we are doing. We make a stand and change the way we behave, because it's actually our behavior, isn't it? Thinking cheaper means better. Change the way we behave. And then I'm going to go with, I saw this rhetorical question on here that I didn't use. Is a cheaper pen really worth damage it causes the earth? So I'm going to end with that. Is a cheaper pen really worth the damage it causes the earth? Question mark. Done. Yours, now because I know her name, it'll be yours sincerely, and then you put your name, Mr. Barker, at the end. Okay? How many sentences is a conclusion? 1, 2, 3 sentences be conclusion. So in fact, if I put all that together, there we go. So I've put all that letter then together there, and look how amazing that looks and sounds as well. Let's just read that letter out together now to finish with. As you may be aware, pollution is constantly having a detrimental effect on our environment. It is certain that plastic pollution is a huge factor of this. 8 million tons of plastic end up in the ocean each year, creating a garbage patch 3 times the size of France. And 1.6 billion pens are a huge part of this pollution. Unfortunately, 1 million sea creatures die as a direct result of this, and I feel that we could do more as a school towards reducing this sizable waste. Firstly, we could set up a scheme across schools to recycle the pens we already have and use. This would reduce the waste going into landfill and mean we are disposing of our waste responsibly. Furthermore, other products can then be made from our recycled waste, such as park benches, cups and pencil cases. I'm sure that you'll agree the TerraCycle scheme is very easy and beneficial to use. In my opinion, we could do more to reduce this waste by buying eco-friendly pens, such as Bic Ecolutions ballpoint pens. These are made from 74% recycled plastic and are relatively cheap at £12.50 per box. That's only £25 per year group. Quite a small price to pay for such a huge impact, would you not agree? Unfortunately, we all know recycled products cost more. However, if we become the pioneering school and set a trend, more schools would follow our example. The more recycled products we buy, the more they are manufactured and so become cheaper. If we stop buying the cheap, nasty pens, companies will stop making them. To conclude, the world is at a crossroads. We either carry on with what we are doing and continually add to the damage, or we make a stand and change the way we behave. And he's put we in there, don't I? No one told me that when I did it before. Is a cheaper pen really worth the damage it causes the earth? Yours sincerely, Mr. Barker. And I feel like that's a very sort of powerful and strong letter that we could put on Miss Ryan's desk. So you then finish off your letter, send us a picture of it, and we are going to litter Miss Ryan's desks with these letters. We will then print them out if you send them to us, or if you bring them in on the 8th of March, next Monday, this Monday, we'll then photocopy them, put them on a desk. I know Miss O'Riordan is doing that. No, it's not next Monday, is it? It's a week on Monday. I know Miss O'Riordan is doing that with the people at school as well and putting them on the desk. And then hopefully then we can try and persuade her and change her mind to do something good for our school regarding the pens that we are using. Good luck with it all, Year 6. I'm so excited to read your letters. Something very, very close to my heart this topic has been. And I will look forward to seeing you next week as well. Bye.